call, right?
Yeah. Hey, everybody, we're live. Just trying to get Rich set up here. I just found something really messed up. The GFQ Twitter account is gone. It says it never existed.
How's that?
So much better.
Yeah?
Yeah, what happened?
Okay.
Tap the mic for me?
I did. No, see, it switched over. That's weird. Hold on.
Yep, that's it.
That's very strange. Okay.
Maybe the beta was broken.
Maybe your butt's broken.
Maybe. So the GFQ account's gone.
From where?
I can't. It says that the account does not exist.
On what platform?
Twitter.
That sucks, dude.
Yep.
How often did you tweet from that?
Every day. It says that the account does not exist. We couldn't locate the account. It's like gone.
Did Deacon do something?
No.
Did he hit self-destruct?
It says it never existed. The email you're using does not exist. The account you're using does not exist. I gotta fix that. I gotta email them. That is bizarre. Very strange. Just like gone. And it's not logged in on any of the accounts, which is the crazy part. Oh, well, we'll figure it out. All right. Not a problem for now. Problem for later. All right, everybody. Hey. This is going to be fun. Let's get it going. GFQ Twitter was canceled, says Josh.
We were sending too many dick pics to each other.
I think that's what it was, man. They got us. So I redid the lighting in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks a lot better. I pretty much refocused where the light is and the sources and everything. And now we have an awesome air conditioner in here that you cannot hear. It is freezing in here right now.
Oh, I can't wait.
You're never going to sweat again.
That's what if you were a genie, that may be one of my wishes.
Your wishes to never sweat again?
Mm-hmm. But also,
Anthony says, Twitter might have seen me dabbing last week on the show. You think that's the reason?
I think so. It's the world's worst / world's greatest dab. Oh, boy.
All right. Are we ready? Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm ready. Ooh.
All right,
baby.
All right, babies. Hello, my babies. All right. All right. You ready? Let's do this. In 3, 2, and 1. Hey, everybody, welcome to Matt Men, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Aegis here, and I'm joined by the Sweat Master, Rich Stambolian.
Oh, give me some sweat. Give me some sweat.
That's also such sweating all over everybody.
In the 90s, that was my R&B name, the Sweat Master.
The Sweat Master. I love it.
Make him sweat.
Sweat Master Flex. Hard to get a ticket. Dropping bombs. This is a show all about professional wrestling. I want to welcome everybody into the show. Last week we did 2 shows. It was such a jam-packed week. We did 2 shows. A week before that, I think, we did 2 shows too. So we've been on this trend of doing a lot more content, and it's thanks to each and every one of you, obviously, that tune in every week, that fund us here on YouTube when we do the show live via Super Chat, and the ones that are joining our Patreon, patreon.com/MattMenPodcast. Last week was a very hectic and surreal week for the show. We broke a lot of news that, you know, a lot of people covered. We got a lot of media coverage from the stuff that we discussed via Velveteen Dream and everything else that's going on. So I want to thank everybody that, you know, helped put a lot of this information together. A lot of great people from the community helped us. I'm not going to go into detail and out people, but it's been amazing to see how far, you know, wrestling journalism has come, because everybody's kind of working together now rather than just trying to kill each other and compete with each other, which is always great to see. I really welcome that. A lot of positive comments about last week's show that we did, Rich. People very much enjoyed the way that we delivered the information. I saw a great post on Reddit talking about how, you know, they really appreciate our fairness. And nobody ever put it that way. Everybody says like, they're funny, they're nice. You know, it's a great escape from reality right now. But somebody said, they're just really fair. They don't get worked into, getting very emotional about everything. So it's a lot going on right now in pro wrestling. Actually, by the way, right now while we're doing this, I'm rewatching Great American Bash. So we have a lot, obviously, to talk about. I did not realize they brought out a Dodge Viper during the show.
What was it? A Mustang and a Viper that are hanging out.
It was a classic Corvette, like an old Corvette, and a Viper.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but when I woke up this morning, I was like, "Ooh, it would have been so cool." Any wrestler, if any wrestler got on the microphone and went, "Well, guess what? I'm the American bitch."
That's what you wanted them to say?
Yeah, because it was at it's the Great American Bash, right?
Yeah.
I think that would have been such a great
moment.
In your face kind of line. Yeah,
they missed out. You should have sent them the notes. So last night. Sorry, Rich. Go ahead.
No. I'm sure you're gonna say the exact same thing.
Yeah. Last night, AEW had AEW Fyter Festival. Sorry, I should correct myself there. AEW Fyter Festival. That's a 2-night pay-per-view-esque event going on. Night 1 was last night. Night 2 is going to be next week. And NXT answered with the Great American Bash, which I was told that was not a planned 2-night thing. They did a very last-minute concept here. They wanted to put together to kind of stick it to AEW, and both shows were phenomenal. They did a great job on both shows. Yeah. Right now I'm watching the Tegan match with Mia. Very good match. I enjoyed both shows a lot, but there's a lot to take away from this, right? So I don't know, where do you want to begin, Rich?
I mean, let's you take it, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff from this week that's kind of rolling into other news that's going to roll into people debuting in the next couple of weeks. And that 90-day no-compete clause is up pretty much on July 15th. That is less than 2 weeks away. So we're going to be getting a lot of surprises. And I think the ground is fertile for a bunch of stuff that's going to pop up. I think we're in for a couple of surprises, to be honest.
Yeah. So for people who don't know what Rich is referring to, the major WWE layoffs that we saw during the COVID issue, right? Still going on, by the way, not over. But during the height of it, WWE announced a tremendous amount of layoffs. Some surprise layoffs, like Zack Ryder. He's not a guy that asked for his release, but he was released anyway. Others, not so much of a surprise, considering Rusev was unhappy, and a number of these guys were unhappy. Other ones, major shocker, Gallows and Anderson, considering they had just signed a $750,000 a year downside contract, so each, which is a lot of money for a tag team, especially a tag team that doesn't generally get placed in a major spot on TV. So WWE has reversed their course of keeping everybody under contract and now released all these guys. And the contract expires, and the 60-day non-compete, 90-day non-compete, 60-day non-compete,
90-day,
90-day. I'm so
60
sorry.
day, 90-day.
I can't remember. It expires on the 15th. There's a Impact pay-per-view Slammiversary on the 19th, right, or 18th.
I think it may expire on the 15th or the 19th, and Slammiversary, I believe, is on the 22nd of July. Or the night. I'm not sure anymore.
I think we're losing our mind with the dates. Let me see. Impact Wrestling pay-per-view. I should have this in my notes.
Imagine if the Big Show showed up.
On Impact? Slammiversary 2020. Here we go. It's going to be on the 18th. Slammiversary takes place on the 18th in the Skyway Studios in Nashville. And that's where they're filming it. A lot of people are guessing... all these names showing up. Obviously, Gallows and Anderson, we know that they've been hinting at at a reunion of sorts for Aces and Eights on Impact. So we are going to see that most likely. I was going to say that EC3 was headed there, and then he did a vignette online where he put the AEW logo behind him. So it could be a teaser. For all we know, it could be, just to swerve everybody. but every company is essentially hinting that EC3 is headed there. Have you seen the EC3 gimmick? The new
Yeah,
one?
I think like the stuff he put out for AEW was extremely well worded. It was such a cool little thing, but I feel like there's gonna be some kind of open contract situation, dude, with a lot of these guys.
Yeah. So the Gallows and Anderson are part of an open contract. I think a lot of people are pissed off that they're not going to AEW. There's nothing that says that they can't go to AEW. There's nothing that says the term. We don't know how long of a term this Impact deal is. I am assuming that it's not a long-term deal. They're going to probably run the program there, do some stuff in Japan, and then possibly head over to AEW. The issue with AEW right now is that they just couldn't meet on the money. That's the biggest problem.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. We got a little delay, so
I think a lot of these guys are smartly taking that Cody route, because if you remember when Cody went to the Indies, he didn't sign long-term deals with anybody, and this dude was showing up at Impact, he was showing up at Ring of Honor, he was showing up in New Japan, and then it snowballed into AEW. I think it's very wise for these guys to do a similar thing. From what I saw about the Gallows and Anderson thing, they're signed with Impact, good deal, and they can work other places. So I'm not ruling out New Japan, and plus they've been posting pictures with the Young Bucks, so like I feel like there's gonna be like an upsurgence of like those guys we like coming back in a certain way,
Yeah, shuffling them everywhere. I mean, why not? It's I think wrestling benefits by having Gallows and, for example, right, Gallows and Anderson on Impact in New Japan doing stuff in AEW. We're gonna see a lot of that. With this set of guys. But the bigger question is, what happens to Ryder? What happens to a lot of the Rusev? Where the hell's he going? There's a lot. There's a lot of moving parts here, and I'm curious to see where they end up. Slammiversary is looking to be Lucha Underground. That's where they're Wrestling Society X. That's where they're going to go.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Brian Pillman Jr. was at AEW.
I did not notice that.
Last night, he was there. He wasn't on TV, but there was a photo of him on the ramp. And I know that they've wanted him for a while. I think he needs to get a little bit more polished, though. And I think he's really good. There's something behind him, and I think he's very good in MLW. But give him like another year or two.
All right,
let him polish up. So, which show did you like better last night? That's what I want to ask you.
I did flip back and forth, and I did like AEW a little bit better. I was too distracted by NXT's, like, the thing that WWE does that they put no effort behind is how they'll call a show something and really not put any pizzazz behind it. When they were doing the Starrcade stuff in North Carolina, they didn't really do shit for it, right? And then they have the graphic for the Great American Bash. What are they brought out 2 cars. Big deal. They should have had, yesterday was Bobby Bonilla Day. They should have had Bobby Bonilla hitting dingers over the canvas all taping.
I would have loved to see. You know what? If NXT had Bobby Bonilla come out there and just stand there, just throw the ball up and just hit it with like a wiffle ball, I would have loved it. I would have been really into it. Yeah, it was. I'm watching it right now. I mean, the only Lorcan and Thatcher match I really liked. But, is it a TV match? Is it something that people really enjoyed? I don't know how it translates. Like, this is a style. I love that kind of style of wrestling. Very chain-based, grappling-based. And you don't really see that on WWE TV that much, so it was nice to see that happen. I did, however, think AEW was a more entertaining show overall.
Yes.
Which I want to break down a little bit into detail. Obviously, there were many aspects of NXT that I really enjoyed. Like I said, the Thatcher and Lorcan match. Oh, who's calling this number? There's a couple too many numbers to this. There's like a 5. It's like 888-999-555.
Is somebody trying to do a call-in right now?
Yeah, hold on. Call you on the air.
Are the lines open?
Lines are open. For people who don't know, I'm talking into a cell phone. I don't know, man. It just felt better watching AEW. So, couple takeaways, right? Because I don't want to run down the whole card, right? I don't want to do that today. But couple takeaways. Do you want to run down the whole card? Why don't we do that?
No, I mean we can do it by memory. It's fine. I want to put emphasis on how impressed I was that the opening match in AEW, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus MJF and Wardlow.
Yeah.
When Jungle Boy and MJF did the simultaneous kip up, I was very impressed. But then when Luchasaurus and Wardlow did the kip up, I was blown away.
Okay, how great is Wardlow, huh?
Yeah, dude, like he shined yesterday, and like I like big men who could do it all, who can actually get in there and are not limited by what a producer says. You know, like, hey, we know you can do a kip up, don't do a kip up. You know, I think that's stupid. If you're training to do something, do it.
So people didn't realize also Wardlow's actual name is Wardlow.
John
Michael
Wardlow.
Michael Wardlow.
That's all right. That's still a good action hero name.
Great action hero name. I mean, listen, he's relatively, he's not a young guy, but he's young to wrestling, debuted in 2014. This guy is looking good.
Yeah.
He's starting to look really good. He was a big takeaway for me. I think he could be a big star for them if they use him properly. Really enjoyed that match. The Shida and Penelope Ford match was shockingly better than I expected.
Oh, fantastic.
Penelope Ford has come a real long way.
Mm-hmm.
She's not super polished, right? I think a lot of people are acting like she put on the best match ever. But I mean, I saw her like 2-3 years ago, and her thing was on the indies where she would do a high spot. She would either do a flip or she would do a flying crossbody or something to interfere in the matches. She was really good.
Yeah,
she did a good job. I was a little nervous on that match, but I really, really enjoyed it. She'd obviously won. You had Cody and Hager in the match for the TNT Championship. What did you think of this match? I thought it was better than I thought it would be, but very WWE style match.
I think it was half and half. I think they did it at the top of the hour to keep people interested. But I feel like they could have had a better match. It was good. It was nice and quick. It was crisp. I like the interference from Dusty. I like the slap from Hager's wife. It was good. It was a good early 2000s WWE style match.
Interference from Arn.
Yeah.
You said
Dusty. Dustin. Not Dusty. Dustin. Dustin came out and punched Jack Hager. And also, is it just me or is Arn Anderson slimming down a bit?
He is slimming down a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
One of the greatest of all time.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good. The finish sucked though. I was not a fan of the finish. The finish was weird, but I understand why they did it. The match was okay. It wasn't terrible.
Jericho on commentary did make a lot of everything on AEW better.
Jericho on commentary, phenomenal.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
When he first came out, though, and he started shitting all over Excalibur.
Oh, so good.
So good. Let's see what else was on this card. Do you have it? I have it here. Then we saw Private Party with Matt Hardy defeating the Inner Circle. Okay, fine match. The main event, Kenny Omega and Adam Page defeated the Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, in 15 minutes, 39 seconds for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. They retained. The ending is where the story was. I thought this match could have been a little better. It's quite obvious to me that Kenny is holding back a lot. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know what's going on. I mean, listen, it's smart if you're holding back a little bit because you're not in front of a live crowd. That's the way you should do it. Right. But there has been a change in his style, and I don't know if that's by design or he's banged up. I know that he has some shoulder issues, so I don't know.
I want to say it's by design, simply because top turbo boost Kenny Omega could probably outwork most people in that company, right?
Yeah, I like how you put it though. Top turbo boost.
Top turbo boost Kenny, where he's just on fire. I think the top echelon of guys could hang with him, And I think he's just so much quicker than everybody. You know, I want to say he's toning it down just a little bit. I did like the ending where FTR came out and they did the whole beer thing, and Kenny spilled the beer out, and then the Bucks came out, and it makes it look like Hangman is gonna be a trio with like FTR.
Looks it. No.
Weird tease, right?
I mean, no. The trio was it's Kenny with the Bucks and Hangman with FTR.
Right.
That was the tease. Which
what I said.
Is that what you said? No, I heard.
Yeah.
Sorry, I heard it the opposite. I don't know, man. I like that they're teasing this, but what do you? I don't know. They got to hold off till September, right? For the Bucks and FTR to touch.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need them to do it prior to September.
At a live show with
a live show with it's a waste. It's a 4.5-year program. Keep it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to do it now. It's not going to. If they give that match away with no audience, it's not going to affect the end result.
It seems like AEW seems very understanding, and it seems like they like to play it a little slower. Just like the Moxley Brian Cage thing, where listen, they gave the guy an extra week. They didn't strip him of the title.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which I think would have been like a WWE thing, right?
If WWE, what would WWE? That's a great question. You got a pay-per-view. Your champion is out. What would WWE do?
Because they stripped Sammy of that title, right?
Yeah, but I think Sammy's was more refusing because he refused to work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what WWE would have done. Maybe they're so unpredictable now. You normally would say like, well, they would do it this way, but Andrade got suspended on a wellness violation. He kept the title. You know,
true. I think because if the company loves you, you can not do whatever you want, but there's a lot of slack.
Yeah, more leeway.
Mm-hmm. How did you like NXT? Was good. What was your favorite part?
I really like the opener with Tegan. Probably it was a Thatcher match. I really enjoyed that match. Right now I'm at the Rhea Ripley match that we saw with Robert Stone.
She's great, man. I love her intro. It's almost like not Undertaker-esque, but it's a very polished intro.
It's a very polished intro, but you know what? She has definitely lost momentum. And her I don't know if it's attributed to not having a live crowd or the booking.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't like watching her from beginning to end. I honestly think that Charlotte match should have been such a big deal if there was a live audience. And that's not anybody's fault. It should have been if it was in front of a live audience, that would have been a huge moment. But everybody has cooled off. Shayna tremendously cooled off. I think Shayna's been the worst handled, honestly, out of any of these call-ups.
Just because she lost a lot of steam?
She lost all the steam. They gave her that ridiculous vampire gimmick that they were going to have her do every week. I don't know if people realize that. Remember the neck biting and then the blood?
Yes.
That was going to be a thing for her. She was going to do that. Cannibalistic.
So stupid.
That was a word I was hearing being thrown around. Cannibalistic.
Hannibal, like Hannibal Lecter, or
no?
I thought you said cannibalistic, like Hannibal Lecter, like because he's a cannibal, or Hannibal Smith from A-Team.
The cannibalistic Shayna. Oh God. Robert Stone, by the way, what is going on here with this guy? Phenomenal physique. He's a manager, and he's doing like a Harvey Whippleman-esque gimmick right now in the ring while I'm watching him. So, I don't know. I thought it was two really good shows. It was a fun night. But here's the thing for you, and I want to kind of break this down. Right now, we were expecting by the end of the month, WWE was going to have a live audience. At the end of July, we reported that about a month ago. It was confirmed by a bunch of people. WWE was looking to get into venues by the end of the month. A month ago, when we were hearing this, it was very realistic. Florida was doing okay. Texas was fine. It was all these states were doing okay. Now, very different game today. As of today, over 10,000 new cases in Florida. Knock on wood, mortality's still very low there, considering the upswing. But we don't know what will happen in 2 weeks. WWE has delayed this, obviously. Sean Ross Sapp finally got an answer from WWE when he requested to confirm if they are doing a show in Lakeland in July, based on my comment, and WWE's response. And this is in Fightful, on the Fightful website as of when was this? Yesterday, Fightful.com. WWE's answer was that it wasn't fully accurate. That it was something along those lines. The stance that they were coming, it's not fully accurate because they changed their plans.
Right.
Of course, it's not accurate anymore. It was accurate 2 weeks ago when they were adamant that Vince is going to make an announcement. They're going to spear right through this and have a live crowd. Now they've realized that that's an unrealistic situation they're putting everybody in. So
it's a big no-no.
They're delaying it by a month. As of last week, 2 weeks ago, they're delaying it by a month. I was told not this Monday that passed, the previous Monday, they were going to delay it one month. So we'll see what happens. A month from that point, we're looking at the end of August. And if, Florida could get their shit together and all these states that are, suffering to get their crap together, we could have that show. The other thing is AEW still holds the spot for their September pay-per-view.
Yes.
In Chicago. I do not believe AEW is going to run a show, a big pay-per-view like that in September. I don't know. I don't know. Listen, we don't know anything at this point, right? We can speculate. We can report on what we hear. I could read you a freaking memo from WWE that I've seen, and it means nothing in a week. Chicago has no more cases currently, too, by the way.
Yeah. Well, it's always card subject to change, and it's also like it just seems like everybody in Florida can't stop coughing in each other's mouths.
That's what the problem was with Florida. Everybody's trying to blame. Listen, I don't want to get political here, right? Everyone's like the protest. I have no problem saying it's a protest, but I know what the reason was. How many people do you know, Rich, from here in New York, went down to Florida in May? I can't even. If I told you 30 people, that would maybe be
honestly
a
nobody
number. I know everybody. Everybody I know took off. They went down to the Carolinas. They went down to South Carolina because they opened the bars first, and then they went right down to the Keys. Florida has got hit.
Nobody. All my buddies stay home. I don't know anybody that's traveled.
Oh my God, I know so many people.
It's the beach. Me personally, I thought it was like they opened the beaches like immediately. And again, it's everybody saying, "Cough in my mouth, bro."
Yeah,
let's ride this out together. Let's go to hell together.
Yeah,
that's it. Just stop coughing in each other's faces. Just, wear a mask. Put some gloves on. Hand sanitizer.
Like I've been going out, but I've been really careful what I do. And I don't touch, and bad habit, right? I know we're veering off a little bit here, and we're gonna get back. Like I have a bad habit of touching my beard constantly. I do this constantly.
Yeah.
I have had
a '90s R&B star.
Yeah. Come here, baby. Can I lick my lips? So I always touch my face. I'm always playing with my face, and it's been so difficult for me. Like I have to consciously be like, don't touch your fucking face. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your face. I'm walking around like this with my hands at this point. This is how I walk.
Just high-fiving everybody.
Just high-fiving everybody sideways.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying. But last Friday I went out, and it was a nightmare at these bars. A freaking nightmare, and I had to go. I had to leave.
Awful.
It was too many people. So let's talk about some of the other news that we're seeing here. And obviously, we're going to do our Q&A segment at the end of the show. So remember, hold on to your questions and bombard us. Throw us all your questions at the end of the show. Guys, if you're listening to this via podcast on iTunes, I thank you. If you're watching this on YouTube, guys, remember, subscribe to us. We're everywhere podcasts are available. We're here on YouTube as well. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, on Google Music, everywhere you could imagine. We're there. Tessa Blanchard, I want to talk about her. A lot of rumors coming out today, this week, that WWE has some serious interest in her. She's going to show up That's what they're saying. I don't know. Listen, if I'm AEW, I'm staying away from Tessa right now.
Okay.
I don't believe AEW is in the mix right now. Impact is obviously out. Tessa got let go because over a number of reasons, but it had nothing to do with past allegations. This was just the current situation and her choosing not to leave Mexico in fear that she can't get back because she's engaged and she's getting married to who is it? Draga? Who's she engaged?
I'm not 100%
sure.
Yeah,
Draga, I think. Daga. Blanchard. Fiance. A fiance is such a silly word.
Why?
Yeah,
Because it's French?
It's Daga. I'm sorry, Draga. Jesus, Daga. I'm losing my mind here. Sorry, guys. But the big story is that WWE is very much interested, and what a natural program that exists between her and Charlotte.
Oh, forget it.
Right? I mean, you want to talk about the horsewomen. She's one that could have claim to the title. You know, you talk about the 4 horsewomen, you're leaving me out. They could talk about how they knew each other when they were kids. Tessa talks about what a piece of crap she is, like her father. You get that whole thing going. I mean, it's a tremendous, tremendous story. How Rick didn't back Tully when Tully needed a job, and she's now here to, I guess, seek vengeance for her dad.
I guess so. But they can't talk about Tully Blanchard because he's erased from WWE right now, right?
Is he erased? I don't know. How do they? I don't know how they feel about Tully.
I think that they're not going to mention him. They'll mention him a little bit, but they'll do it on the way that WWE does the revisionist history, where they'll say he was part of wrestling that Dusty built with Ric Flair, and that'll catapult. If Tessa joins WWE, I think this is where I'd like to see. She dominates the women's division, right? Gets the title, holds on to the title for a while, and then she beats Keith Lee for the North American Championship.
I'm hearing that they were interested. I'm just getting this right now. They wanted Tessa at the tapings this week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so probably to agree on something. I'm hearing SummerSlam. I don't know. Listen, Tessa is made for the WWE at the end of the day. She had they were really turned off to her during the Mae Young Classic. I think people forget that she was part of that. And they were very turned off to her by her attitude. That was only a couple of years ago.
Yeah, she's only 24.
No, Tessa? Oh, shit,
yeah.
She is.
Bonkers.
She is young. She is young. People do not... I mean, she was in WWE in 2017. She was there, and she faced Kairi Sane in the first round. Yep. A lot of people do not remember that.
The very interesting thing that WWE does is when they see, like, super young competitors that are pretty solid in the ring, they will scoop them up like nobody's business, right? Like... How many really young people did they get in the last couple of years?
Oh, tremendous. They're obviously, they're in a rebuilding stage. Only if they did that on TV instead of having, semi-retired guys all over the show, which we'll talk about Raw and how they've taken such a step back in TV. By the way, 3rd lowest rated show of all time. 3rd hour, 1.5 million. They almost dropped below 1.5 million viewers. So they are in they're in a very tough situation right now with the ratings on that show. But about Tessa, WWE, Tessa's run in Impact was majority positive. Her attitude, her support of other wrestlers, her title reign was really affected by the allegations that came out against her. I think a lot of people know that she had a very troubled past and she was dealing with a lot of internal issues. But, remember, she's 24 years old. So these issues, I want people to remember how they behaved in their early 20s. I'm not saying that it's justifiable to say things. Obviously, these are all allegations, so we don't know. None of us were there. But you gotta remember, people are young, people are stupid, and there's room for growth. People change. Everybody changes. Everybody evolves. The hope is that you become a better person. WWE believes that she's become a better person. She has made.
Were you a prick when you were in your 20s?
I was a lot rougher around the edges. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people think I'm rough now, but I think I'm more refined than I was in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes.
Was that your thing about your 20s?
I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes, and I would go to my neighborhood Irish bar like almost every afternoon.
So you do what I do now.
And yeah, I think so. And just like hang out and get comped all afternoon for beers and go home a bit drunk and then go to school the next day.
I didn't enjoy my 20s, man. My 20s weren't fun.
Really?
I was building a brand. I didn't have that much money. My 30s have been great. I got the family, I got kids, but I feel like I've definitely become more refined with my thought process on things. Like I'm more compassionate towards other people's situation, where before I would say F off and be done with it. But we got to all remember, we change. And I think, in Tessa's case, I don't know her personally. I've only heard that she's that Impact run. I only heard positive stuff about her. I didn't hear one negative thing about her. You really can't punish someone for something they did when they were in their late teens, So I'm glad that that's the news that we're hearing about her, that she's a different person. And she's made for WWE. She is made for WWE, top to bottom. So
absolutely,
I expect to see her there. I think she'll be a great addition to that women's roster. But that's their call. I don't know. I don't know where they want to be in this whole scenario. There's a lot of people backstage that don't like her either. That's the other thing.
Do you feel that her possible addition to WWE will boost the significance of that roster, especially now since Charlotte is going to be off TV until the end of the year?
Well,
possibly.
Remember, yeah. Here's the other thing, and you just kind of sprung this thought. The three women that made that women's division, and I know you talk about the women's revolution, but until Ronda Rousey showed up, that was the moment that the eyeballs went on for the mainstream. I mean, we all know how great. Bayley's a great wrestler. Charlotte, we know her capabilities. We know Becky's capabilities. We know Sasha. They have a very strong core, but when you're trying to attract a new viewership, Ronda Rousey brought a lot of eyeballs to that company. They sold a lot of merch for all the crap that she got because people Ronda's not an easy person in real life. She's very competitive. She's just like every other A-list, supreme level athlete. That is how they all are.
Elite athlete.
A-list, supreme. Yeah, elite. There you go, elite. She's an elite athlete from top to bottom. You have to have that arrogance. And from people that work with her, she was the sweetest person in the world. Right. The internet, however, they like to believe that she's a crappy person. So it worked great. I thought she brought a ton of eyeballs there. She's the reason why Becky got to the point that she did. She's single-handedly the reason. Nia, obviously. Who gave her the bloody nose? Nia? Becky?
Nia, yeah.
Yeah, so that bloody nose, that sold it. Ronda sold it. Charlotte being involved made this into a big deal. All three of them are gone. 2 years post, a year and a half post their WrestleMania main event, all three are gone. And Becky's going to be gone for at least a year. Right?
Well, yeah.
9 months for the baby.
She's not going to have a kid and come back the next day.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. So at least a year. Charlotte's out till SummerSlam. Ronda, who knows when Ronda's coming back, if she is coming back.
If ever,
I believe she will. Which I believe she will. She will come back.
You think Gronk's coming back?
Gronk? Or Rock? Yeah, I think Gronk will come back after next season. Yeah, after next season. They love him. They love Gronk. They think he's perfect.
When people find out I do a wrestling podcast, the first question they ask me is, without a doubt, you think The Rock's going to come back?
Oh, The Rock.
Yeah. Yeah,
I heard Gronk.
I said Gronk, but I'm telling you an anecdote
in
which people say, yo, bro, you think The Rock's going to come back?
Do you get any other ones? Because I get a lot of those. I sometimes get Hogan from people, and then I get Steve Austin. I'm constantly asked about The Undertaker and what his status is, constantly.
Right. Yeah, that's a weird thing. I feel like I get backed. I don't know about you, but I do feel like I get backed into a corner sometimes where I don't want to like go full bore like wrestling nerd, you know?
Yeah.
And I find myself kind of casually agreeing with whatever's being thrown at me, you know?
Or how about this one? Do you remember?
Mhm.
And then they give you like, bro, do you remember The Rock?
Yeah.
Do you remember Steve Austin? What happened
Bro,
to
you
Bret
remember The
Hart?
Rock?
Yo, when's Ken
Yeah.
Shamrock coming back?
Yeah, it's a lot. Whatever, it's fine, but like it's a lot of funny stuff, and I always have to bottle it up because like I can, much like with comic books and like heavy metal, I can talk for days, you know. So I'm just like, yeah, dude, The Rock was great. I don't know when he's coming back. That guy's making movies.
I do you get a lot of like one thing that I'm always said, like I wore my ECW shirt the other day when I went out to Bell.
Nice.
So I had my
Nice.
cut off ECW shirt, and a guy came over. He's like, bro, can I ask you? I'm like, what's up? He goes, ECW was real, right? That was real.
Just say yes.
And I go, yep. I go, yeah, man. That stuff was crazy. It was real. I just say I kayfabe the shit out of it now. I just say it's real.
Then you pull the pistol on you.
Oh man, but it is interesting how like people's memory of wrestling when they don't watch wrestling anymore, where it stands. Like I get a lot of like obviously the Hell in a Cell, Mick Foley falling off the Hell in a Cell. That's one. Anything with Steve Austin and the NWO and DX stands out. The Rock stands out, and nothing else. There's nothing else that stood out over the last.
Do you ever get a weird one?
Years.
You ever get a weird one like, yo, man, Kai. Hell yeah.
Bro, Savio Vega.
Dude, Pitbull 1 and Pitbull 2, right? And they're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, you were a big Savio Vega fan, right?
I loved him, man. Him and Ahmed Johnson, dude. They were my guys. Loved Ahmed Johnson. I effing
Why
loved
did you love
Ahmed Johnson
so much?
My dad loved him too. I don't know why.
Mm.
I don't know why. My dad loved him. I thought because he was like gigantic. He was like this big black dude. He was super strong. I had no idea how terrible he was. I was just so impressed by his size.
Well, I think that's the thing, right? And that's the continuous thing with WWE is when they get like really big dudes, they'll be like, people will be impressed at how big this guy is. For example, Big Show calling out Randy Orton on Monday.
There you go, Rich. Thank you for that. Oh my God.
Big Show calling out Randy Orton on Monday. A little weird.
Hold on. Rich sent me that photo again. And it's in a very private spot. Very private spot.
I'm glad you appreciate it. Every week, man. I gotta try to up the ante every week.
That makes my day. Yeah.
Who's the greasiest wrestler ever?
Greasiest? It has to be hairy. Somebody really hairy.
Greasiest. Ashton Booger?
Greasiest wrestler.
I feel like Warrior, right?
Like what kind? You actually talking about body grease itself, oiled up? Ahmed Johnson, greasiest wrestler ever.
Okay.
Greasiest guy. X-Pac. Look at this. Big E. We're getting a lot of comments.
Wow.
X-Pac was a grease ball. Definitely.
A lot of grease comments.
From his hair. Greasiest wrestler? Who? Yeah. I'm trying to think of a Greek. Kevin
Courageous?
Evan Courageous. Yeah, Evan Courageous.
Greatest wrestler ever.
Is that what we're doing? Spiros in ECW? The Greek god Papadon?
Bro, Pitbull 1 and 2, man.
Pitbull 1 and 2. So let's I don't know, man. Right now we're leading up to SummerSlam. It doesn't feel like it. It's all whacked out right now, and it is what it is. New Japan has been having some really good shows. The New Japan
New Japan Cup,
on.
Man.
Yeah,
Ibushi got bounced, man. Sucks.
Yeah. I wonder why. I wonder what their plan was for the year. I'm very curious about that because they had the Dome show, and then there wasn't. Obviously they had all these other plans in the mix, and everything's out the window. And I really don't know what their plan was.
Doesn't that suck for
NATO?
Forward. I feel like NATO suffered
another one
wrestling wise. NATO and Drew McIntyre have probably suffered the worst this year.
Yep, those are the two. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Do you think whose run has suffered more, right? Do you think the AEW World Championship win of Jon Moxley has suffered, or do you think, as far as not long term suffering, right? Long term
Right.
impact of this, do you think it's Drew, or do you think it's Moxley?
It's Drew. I think because of Moxley's character, the character doesn't give a shit where he wrestles. He's going to defend that belt. So it's kind of like, all right, that works. That's a happy accident, right? With Drew McIntyre, the dude won the Rumble, and then he beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. There was no crowd. That stinks. You'll never have that footage of him beating Brock Lesnar in front of a giant audience, which is unfortunate. And I feel like they're going to do that redo later this year where Brock challenges him and he beats Brock again. Naito, 2 belts, man. And this is something this guy's worked hard for like 10 years and nothing. And now New Japan's starting back up. I think his run suffered the most.
Yeah, dude, this is unprecedented. What are you going to do? I really would love to see. This is going to sound screwed up, okay? And just I'm going to say it. I don't see why WWE, for example, couldn't run Full Sail University with I'm not saying right now at this very moment, right? I'm not saying at this very moment. But I don't know how WWE cannot run Full Sail University with proper precautions with an audience.
Okay.
I think it's very realistic that they could do it. That they would have been able to do this. Right now, obviously, we can't because of what's happening in Florida. But do you see, like, leading up to this, I think they could have done it. I agree. I think the fact with the masks, that's really crappy, that story. But if they had proper, if they had proper usage of masks, and they did a good job with the plexi where you're separating the talent from the wrestlers, for the audience with the wrestlers, I think they could have done a very good job with this. They could have been a great example of bringing people in to a venue responsibly and setting the precedence for other companies to do this. Unfortunately, arrogance kind of got in the way of this.
Absolutely. Here's how you do it. You know how you do a live crowd, especially if you're a company with like WWE who has a ton of money?
Yeah.
Let's say you buy a ticket, right? You buy a ticket for the Performance Center. They send you all your precautionary gear and enforce that you wear it when you enter the venue. So maybe a Tyvek suit, mask, maybe like one of the face shields, gloves, put your t-shirt over it, and that's it. That's how you watch wrestling. It might look stupid, but at least you get a crowd in a building, right? Proper precautions, something, I think it's a little dumb where, like, I think WWE dropped the ball, especially because as soon as this thing started, they were saying like, oh, these are the precautions we're taking. Everything's cool, man. Performance Center's getting sprayed down with this stuff. There's not going to be any COVID anywhere. And the minute they let people in said, hey, like no masks, it was cough mouth city, dude.
I'm just going to say this based on no confirmed sources, okay? But one of the talent reached out to me that I know.
Speaking of news now.
Huh?
You're making up news now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. They said that they believe, their personal opinion is that way more people in the company had it, they hit it, and they were working through it.
Oof.
And they don't believe that this happened because of letting people in. They believe that this spread and people had it and nobody was talking about it. For months, this has been going on. Yeah. So,
I can see that. Well, if your job's on the line in that situation, especially with like what we as fans know with WWE style corporate structure, where it's like, if I'm not here, I lose everything, I lose my spot.
Yeah. All right. Let's do Q&As, guys. Submit your questions in the chat room. This is our Q&A segment, and we'll begin. Hothead asks, can a 40% capacity Sears Center in September for all out with everyone wearing masks and COVID precautions even be possible? Chicago Daily COVID stats said that yesterday there were 169 positive tests. If it stays at that, yeah, 100% possible. right?
Absolutely.
But we have to have it has to stay at that. One, will it create a spread because people from other states would be coming to this event? So do you say only Chicago residents could attend the show? That's a possibility. But it's very possible, very, very possible that they could do a 40% capacity. That would be, if the Sears Center is what, 14,000, 15,000? You do 40%, so you'll still have a few thousand people in there. Yeah, fine. You could do 4,000 people, 3,000 people, 2,000 people. 2,000 is way better than 10. So
right.
It's very possible.
And you can shoot
it.
You can shoot it, and the crowd noise will be refreshing.
Yeah.
Because we haven't heard that kind of crowd noise in a while. I think they can do a good job with it, especially if they take the only thing is it's going to take a long time to get into a venue and a long time to get out. And if people are patient, it can be done. Right.
Yeah. Large asks, with the wrestlers that are staying home with COVID, will Vince add days to their contract like if they were injured? I haven't heard that. I was told that there's no punishment. I don't know if that would be considered a punishment or days not available. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, because here's the other thing. They're taping 1 or 2 days a week or 3 days a week. It's not like you're missing days on the road. So to add that up, I don't know if it's worth it for them. Do they want the negative publicity that they added days to people's contracts? I don't know. I'm sure there's something in their notes, in their contract, because the contract protects the company more than anything else.
Okay. Do you think they would have the audacity to do that?
Well, yeah, it's WWE. I think if they want to, they can.
Okay. Next question.
Did you hear Ember Moon? If Ember Moon had a second surgery and if she's going to be out for the year? I heard that her recovery's gone long. I don't know if she had a second surgery. It's a shame because she really got banged up bad. And she was starting to get a nice run. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything regarding that. Also, Anthony asked, chances of SummerSlam at the beach? I've been told no. And I specifically asked that, but I think having the Bash at the Beach title for NXT kind of proved that that's a no, because they're not going to run the title beach twice.
Okay.
Body Guy. Josh says Body Guy. Josh loves Body Guys. Rich, are you accepting Vince's invite for his 4th of July birthday, 4th of July bash at his house? That's from Bob.
Yes, I'll be there.
Yeah, oil up, brother. Oil up. You think he wears like a red, white, and blue Speedo?
Yeah, absolutely. He just paints his dick red, white, and blue.
That's what it is. One wrestler theme song that you hate to admit you love. Bachelor 3000 asks. Rich, you go.
Ooh, that's a really, really good question. I'm going to have to think about that. Maybe Sheamus' old theme song?
Sheamus' old theme song.
Yeah. Not the super Celtic one he has. The one that sounds like the singer saying lobster head.
Mine is Billy and Chuck's theme.
How'd that go?
You are so good to me. No? I really like that one. You know what I do love? I love the Los Boricuas theme.
Yes.
It's another one. Another great theme song. I love the Nation of Domination. Underrated. And my all-time favorite is probably Gangrel. The Brood.
Ooh, really?
Hold Up.
It's a good theme song.
Hold Up.
Let's see. Josh asks, would you like it if Val Venus popped out of a fake birthday cake for you and he starts gyrating his hips to his theme song for your birthday?
Well, your birthday is coming up.
My birthday is coming up.
You want to have
My birthday
that?
is on July 14th.
You want me to call Val?
No, that is too. He's got to social distance the gyration.
Let's see.
And it'll be half the Val Venus theme song and then half of him trying to sell us on CBD and cannabis related products.
Yeah.
Do you think Randy Orton wins the title?
Hold on.
Do you think Randy Orton wins the title? Oh, I'm like down here. There was a hot dog question.
Hold on. Let's go in order. I want to go in order because I'm finally,
Okay.
for the first time, organized with this.
You have your contacts in.
Yeah, put them in finally. I could read. Do you think WWE will make July 15th another WCW event? What's July 15th? What's on July 15th?
That's a Wednesday. That's another NXT show.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. What's going on July 15th? Most people probably hadn't. They never knew. What have you heard about Vince having the virus and being hidden? I heard that it was just a rumor. I did not hear anything about him having the virus. I heard that people were talking that he might have it, but there was nothing else. Anthony says, did you hear NXT UK tapings in 2 months? I heard that they are going to do tapings. There was a lot of contemplation regarding what to do with the brand. There was suggestions of possibly killing it. There were suggestions to bring it within NXT, to have NXT UK within the NXT brand to get more eyeballs on it. They are going to be putting together shows. It's a matter of when. And I know that there's going to be a lot of background checking with a lot of the talent moving forward.
All right.
Adam says, how are you supposed to eat? Oh, here's your hot dog question.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to eat your hot dog and drink your beer if everyone is required to wear a mask? I think that's a great question. You just have a hole for the hot dog and you just slurp it right up.
Stand in the corner and eat alone.
Where's the Randy Orton question? Now we're at the Randy Orton question if you want to read those.
Do you think Randy Orton wins the title and then Edge returns and wins the title for WrestleMania?
I think Edge will get the title.
Yes.
I think that will be, I don't know now, but I know that was probably in the plans when he, and you know what? Another run that got ruined, right? Another big event that got ruined because Edge's return should have been the biggest thing for these guys. And that's, slowed down.
Do you put ketchup on your hot dogs? It's from Large23.
I put ketchup and mustard. I put both.
Ketchup, mustard, sauerkraut. Are you a sauerkraut guy or no?
I do. I love sauerkraut.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not going to be shamed into not putting ketchup on my hot dogs. I want to tell everybody, this is nonsense. This whole, you're not supposed to put ketchup on your hot dog. I get it. Maybe like 100 years ago. But why did they offer ketchup then? In 1920, maybe nobody put ketchup on their hot dogs. But everybody puts ketchup on their hot dogs now. I'm not going to be shamed into not doing it.
I want to say in 1920, they probably put like tartar sauce on their hot dogs.
You think they did?
Yeah. They shoe polish and tartar sauce.
Shoe polish and tartar sauce.
It was the 20s, baby. I speaking of weird food things, listen, pineapple and ham on a pizza is delicious. I think people are bonkers when they say it's not.
You know who's bonkers about that? Coco. He hates it.
He hates it?
Coco's
got no taste. He's got two taste buds.
Listen, he does. He has two taste buds. Food and not food. He like shames people into like he's obsessed with pineapple on pizza, and like a negative.
He's a Hawaiian pizza shamer.
He hates. Yeah, he is. He's like, get out of here. Pineapples on pizza? That's gross, man.
What's next? A man on the moon?
He hates it.
Do you think Sasha mentioning the hacker on Raw is leading to the return of the hacker?
Dude, I have no idea what they're doing with that hacker gimmick. Whatever the plan was, either somebody scrapped it or something. I don't know. Something happened because it was a big moment. It was a big part of Angles, and now it just disappeared. What if it is CM Punk?
Right.
Can you imagine that? The CM Punk's the hacker.
So great.
I
learned how to use a computer.
This whole time.
I've been away so long.
Maybe he deleted
so
the
I
guys
can learn
HTML.
HTML.
Yeah, maybe he's the one. Yeah, I don't know what the hell. That's weird.
Here?
The account's totally gone.
MG Geeks got a question. Hang on a sec. Don't know about you guys, but why don't they look at renting an outdoor amphitheater in a state where cases are under control and just use the lawn seating? Because people are gross.
So, they're looking at every option. The biggest problem that they have is states allowing large capacity events, which they're not. I don't know what state is really open right now. I don't think anything is open. But is there any state that's allowing large venue events? I don't
Vanilla
think so.
Ice is doing a concert in Texas, and I think the quote was, "We didn't have the coronavirus in the '90s," so
That's what
they're
he said.
allowing. I think so, and they're allowing him to do a concert in Texas. Is Vanilla Ice gonna destroy the American populace because he refuses to adhere
Imagine,
to COVID?
imagine getting coronavirus because you went to a Vanilla Ice concert in 2020. Imagine that's
Imagine
the
if he
cause.
right. Imagine if he was the Antichrist.
It's his return, man. He
And
was the Antichrist all along. He was the Antichrist this whole time, from beginning to end. Did you ever see his movie, the Vanilla Ice movie?
Cool as Ice? Hell yeah.
Is that it? Is that
Terrible.
the movie?
Yeah. The movie's terrible.
It's with the girl, and he has a motorcycle. Yeah, it is Cool
Mhm.
as Ice. Yeah, that's the one. I watched the thing recently.
When? Like yesterday? Yeah.
No, like 2 months ago.
hmm
Couldn't believe that this was a movie.
He was very popular. He was a popular boy back in the day.
He was very popular, and he had like the uptight girl that he was trying to get with.
I'll always have a place in my heart for Ninja Rap.
Ninja Rap
From
in Ninja Turtles 2? Yes.
yes.
Loved it. Loved it. Is Rich turning 40 on 7/14?
39.
39, baby.
One more year left.
Do you think Cross ruins next week's title match and WWE makes a three-way the next week to combat AEW's third show? I don't know. I don't know what the plan with him is. I think you need to keep him away from the title picture right now. Have him build up his. Here's why I say that. Right, new character has not been in front of an audience.
Okay,
only TV. So I don't know if people know this, but crowd reactions really dictate how popular someone is. So if you have Cross, which I believe is going to be a very popular act in the company. If you have Cross win a title or be in a main title picture, lose with no audience, that's not adding or taking anything away. Why would you do that? Why would you do that moment when nobody's going to get built by that moment? Wait, hold on, take your time. We're almost there. We got another 2 months maybe of this. I'm hoping before they can do something in front of a live audience, hopefully. So don't ruin it. Let this guy marinate a little bit.
It's a good question, though, because if they're really doing counter programming, I think that's the way to go, right?
Yeah. Listen, that's. But again, I don't understand why they're even on the same freaking night. This is so stupid. It's so stupid. We're in a DVR era.
Absolutely.
There's no reason to dilute your audience by 50%. If NXT was on Tuesdays, AEW on Wednesdays, they're both doing 1 million viewers. Listen, I'm not. I don't want to speculate, but the networks can't be too happy with 600,000. I think in AEW's case, they were very surprised by their viewership for these shows. I think a lot of people were. Everybody in TV was shocked at the number of people that tuned in to watch. But you're diluting your audience, and by the way, that audience is getting smaller. They're very distracted by world events right now. Considering the product is not the best that it could possibly be. So somebody has to make that call, and I don't know if it's going to be a network decision or not, because too much pride is involved in this. Especially on the WWE side, where they don't want to move NXT and be considered that they lost this war by moving.
Right.
But at one point, you're going to have to say, Fox, by the way, another year. They're not going to. Move the show. A lot of the reason why NXT went to Wednesday is because that Friday time slot for SmackDown is not good for anybody, right? That Friday time slot does not work for the company because it screws up their entire touring schedule, and a lot of people do not understand that. It is very complicated on how to do the show because it's messing up their house show touring schedule. It's messing up major pay-per-views because now your go-home is on a Friday, so now you're holding off on major stuff. You got to make a decision as to, for AEW, it doesn't matter, right? Because they're slap dab on Wednesday. They don't do house shows. It's not going to mess it up. But having a Friday SmackDown, a live SmackDown affects it. Yeah, SmackDown was on Fridays, but guess what? It was always taped on a Tuesday.
Right.
Always SmackDown has been taped on a Tuesday.
And the SmackDown ratings have been getting lower, right?
It's actually improving a little bit.
I would say, like, that's interesting. You would think that they would have really, really, really strong, amazing ratings for the last 3 months because nobody's going out on a Friday night and they're watching SmackDown.
Very good point. Very good point, actually. Very, very good point. Because that teenager is not leaving the house or hasn't left the house. That younger demo hasn't left the house that they normally do on Fridays. But Fridays are not really a TV night. So what happens when everybody's back out? Your 2 million viewers are going to drop to 1.7 million. And that's not good. I would say
you're getting worked up. I like it.
Getting worked up here because this is stuff that I'm very much interested in. Is a lot of people crap on like the whole rating, like the concentration put on ratings, but I think you got to also remember when you're covering an industry, right, like wrestling. A lot of people crap on Dave for hurting. He created an entire generation of fans that latch onto viewership and quarter hours. That is, he's not doing it for the casual viewer. He's doing that because he covers the business of wrestling. Those quarter-hour ratings mean a lot. You know why? They mean a lot to advertisers, and advertisers are what funds this. So you got to remember that he's covering the business end, and when we talk about ratings, it's more about the business end of stuff. If there's no rating, there's no viewership. If there's no viewership, there's no ad revenue, and there's no network to put this on. So it's a major part of the business end. SmackDown, the hope was that Fox was going to move them. They're not moving them from Fridays, so they got to make a call. Maybe Tuesdays are the good night for them. Considering Wednesday night now has UFC and NASCAR. It's also another...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I got a major scoop, apparently.
On NASCAR?
No, let me check my message. Hold on, I got a DM.
Got a big old NASCAR scoop?
So... I don't want to ruin this for anybody.
Can you text it to me?
Yep. I'm going to text this to you. Has to do with TV next week.
Very interesting. AW is doing Fight for the Fallen on July 15th. So they're going right from Fyter Fest to Fight for the Fallen.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
Sorry, I missed that part, but okay, fine. But now you're gonna have 3 weeks of of programming that are pay-per-views.
Which I'm cool with.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll see what happens. Mike Awesome, $2 late to the party. Hope all is well from Mike Awesome in the YouTube chat. Don't forget, NBA is coming back at the end of the month. Yeah, NBA's coming back. Baseball's coming back. They got to make a decision here. And listen, why not have a conversation with AEW? Why not have Fox and TNT and AEW and WWE in a conversation that says, guys, listen. We're both in the same boat here. We're both dealing with the same issues. Let's work together as an industry and figure out a way that we could both benefit from this. Why can't you do that? There's no reason to compete on the same night anymore. I don't enjoy doing it. Do you enjoy doing it? I don't. I don't enjoy going back and forth and having to choose which show I'm going to watch more because I got to do a show on Thursday or I got to do a show on Friday. I'm definitely missing out on stuff, and unfortunately, I'm missing out on NXT content more than anything else.
Oh, same here.
And the product is great. I just don't have that many hours in my day in a 1 or 2 day span to watch. Should I do the spoiler here or no? I got a big spoiler. Who wants me to say it?
I got an idea for it.
Yeah.
Can I say it? I'm not going to spoil it, but I will just say something about it. Does that work?
Let me give the chat room like 2 seconds here to do this.
Hang on. Let me text you what I want to say.
Oh man, I hope it's sexual.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what you're writing here. He's sending me inappropriate photos.
My butthole.
Nice thighs, Rich.
Yeah, I know.
Spoil it. Yes, spoil it. People want it. Okay. Say what you're going to say. I haven't gotten a message, but say it. Hold on.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
That's it. Yeah, let people come to their own assumption. Okay, so apparently blank is beating blank next week on one programming day.
Yeah,
which I guess isn't upset, but You know, you guys can make your inference on that. You guys are smart. You guys got the Ring of Honor thing. We didn't even say Ring of Honor from a couple of
I
weeks
don't know.
ago.
I kind of want to ruin it. Do I want to spoil it?
Dude,
I don't know.
Should we spoil it?
Should we spoil it? If you guys don't answer, I'm gonna do it. All right.
Press 1 for yes and 2 for no on your keyboard in the chat room.
All right. So this one I'm gonna do. If you don't want the spoiler, mute the audio now, and then give me like 30 seconds and mute the audio. I'm gonna count down in 3, 2, and 1.
So we're gonna do 30 seconds. It's not silence, but a lot of people agree with us on the hot dog thing, except for Bob. Bob says you're 4 years old because you put hot dogs on.
Of course you would.
You put hot dogs on hot dogs.
I put hot dogs on hot dogs. So the spoiler right here is that next week, the title unification match to become an undisputed champion in NXT between Keith Lee and Adam Cole. Keith Lee wins. Now, don't post it in the chat room. Keith Lee wins both titles, and Adam Cole's getting called up.
Great. As soon as you said don't post it in the chat room,
someone posted it. All right, now you could all come back. So that's the thing. I'm not going to go into it till next week, obviously, on the show. I don't have any other details about this. This was just what was sent to me just now, and Adam Cole's coming up to. Listen, maybe they're swerving everybody, right? It's very possible that they put out information that's a swerve to confuse the audience. But I do see that happening, and I think that's the right move right now to figure, to do what I just said would happen. I'm kind of for this. Yeah.
Are the Viking Prophets still a thing as like a foursome?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. I find watching Raw. And I've hit that point. It's very difficult for me to watch that show. SmackDown is a little bit easier.
That's your feud for Undisputed moving up, right?
Yeah, if they move up all together, yeah, I that would be the move. Yeah. All four, yeah, that would be definitely the move. The Viking Prophets have merch now, so yeah, they are a thing.
Yeah, that's your move.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I'm watching
because they already fought each other a bunch of times, right?
They did fight each other, yeah. They did all those garbage matches, right? They had all those weird matches.
Didn't they do War Games also with Undisputed?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's going to be the New Day. So Adam Cole to SmackDown.
Okay.
That's what it looks like.
It's going to be a good feud.
Do it, man. I would love to see it. Do it. I want to see. I want to see it. I need something new. Bring me back. Right? Look at me. I cover it. I have a real problem with. Look at me. Look at my eyes. I have a real problem with Raw. SmackDown is a little bit easier because it's shorter, but it just this is the situation we're in, guys. What are you gonna do?
And fast forward Raw after the fact, right?
I feel terrible for Drew. I feel terrible for all these guys. Like. You have Big Show out there on Raw, defeats Andrade and Garza, right? It was Garza and Andrade? Yeah. Why? Why you have these guys, young guys, you're pushing to be your main event, handicap match, heels and a babyface, and you just killed them. You beat them. So you just said that this old 40-something-year-old guy that is not the future of the company is way better than two primo athletes.
Primo.
Why?
Yeah. Because Vince, dude, like he's like, I'm gonna run this giant into the ground. You know, he's had a big soft spot for Big Show for 20 plus years, right?
I know, but you know what's amazing? Do you think Big Show got over?
2 times.
Okay.
One, when he was doing the costumes every week, like when he would come out as
like Hogan and everything, yeah.
Like Hogan and Kishi, when he came out to show Kishi, that was awesome. And then when he came back a few years ago and he had like a bunch of abs and he was like mad jacked, and I think he was feuding with Roman a little bit. I think that version of Show was good. And then the and also like Corporate Stooge Show where they were gonna fire him people. And Yeah, and he was doing the dirty work.
Yeah,
But like
I mean,
I
this
always
guy.
like Big Show.
I mean, do you remember the hype about Paul White going to WWE? How
Oh my god,
big
yeah.
that was, and you want to talk like WWE not
Mhm.
knowing when something is handed to him. Vince always said, right? If I had that giant, I would book him
Yeah.
just like Andre. I wouldn't overexpose him. He wouldn't be on TV. I mean, this is all documented from the 90s, right? He would always talk about what he
Mm.
would have done if he had Paul White. And he would say,
His
I
own
would
Andre.
he would make him like Andre. He would book a monster. They have no idea how to book
Mm.
monsters in WCW. He would have him on TV very little. He's an attraction. He's not a
Mhm.
superstar. And then what do they do? His debut. He throws.
Yeah,
He throws. Austin through the gate, and he looks like a big doofy giant. Goofy giant. By the way,
right.
Mike Awesome apologized for posting the. We're not mad. We're just joking, Mike. He says, sorry about posting the spoiler. I had sent it right before you said it. My apologies to both of you. No, we don't. It's fine.
That's
Don't
all
worry
right.
about it.
You can't
It
control your
happens.
fingers.
Yeah, it's okay. I can't control mine either. They have a mind of their own. So, I mean, I don't think Big Show ever really got over to a WWE audience. I and he also came in a weird transition period in the company where work rate was becoming a big deal compared to, you look in 99, 2000, 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
Now we're going into this workers era of the Eddies and Benoits and, Austin having great matches and Hunter having great matches, Angle. And now you have this big giant that he's supposed to not sell and not really work. It just came at a long time, but the guy had a crazy longevity in his career. It's great to see that he's still healthy and he looks good and he's working. Milk the business for all you can. I mean, at the end of the day, but one of those big what ifs, right? That how would you have even booked them to look great? I don't think it was possible in that era.
That is very true. I think it was just like that debut kind of set up. The debut kind of set it up to be weird, and also just the name The Big Show, which I feel like took me such a long time to get used to.
I hate the name. I hated the theme. I hated it. He was gonna be Paul White, the Big Show, Paul White. Why couldn't you just call him the Giant? Why can't you? Why couldn't you call him anything other than the Big Show? He's not a giant. He's big, and he's the show.
Yeah.
Show's the Big Show.
Big. Everything's big. Also, like the setup for this is also Big Show leaving in like a month after Randy Orton legend kills him, right?
Yeah, he's just gonna murder him. T. Jackson, by the way, Mike Awesome, $2 apology tip for the spoiler jar. Thank you, Mike. T. Jackson, would Kenny Omega be in the main event right now if he was in WWE? I'm gonna say a very unpopular opinion here. A lot of people do not agree with me on this, but I have an idea what the plans for him would have been, and if they had stuck to it, which I do believe they would have, I think Kenny Omega would have been in the top tippity top right now in this company. I think Kenny Omega, as far as his career goes, there's two scenarios here, right? Kenny Omega's career and pro wrestling. I think Kenny Omega not going to WWE is better for pro wrestling because it allowed AEW to become. There's a lot of speculation. If Kenny Omega never went to AEW, would AEW would have happened, right? I think a lot of this had to do with the fact that the best wrestler in the world at that point is on another brand. But WWE was going to strap the rocket to this guy. There's nobody hotter in wrestling than 2017, 2018, 2019 Kenny Omega.
Right.
Actually, 2017, 2018 Kenny Omega. There was no hotter act. 2018 Kenny Omega, nothing better than him. And he made the decision to go to AEW. Unfortunately, he's not strapping the rocket to him because they're telling a long-term story here to establish wrestlers and the product and the championship.
Right.
But in WWE, this guy would have been feuding with AJ Styles, Roman Reigns,
Rollins.
Yeah, definitely Rollins. I mean, all these guys. He would have been at the top tier having he would have just elevated that top tier to be even better.
Yeah, absolutely. I also feel like at some point he would have joined the New Day.
Yeah, but here's the other thing, right? Like him himself, he's a silly guy. Like, and I say that in a good way. Like, I'm not saying that in like a negative. it doesn't come natural to him to be a dick. It's, obviously he enjoys a silly gimmick more than he likes a serious gimmick. You could see by his story. You could tell by what happened during his New Japan run when he was building up to become the world champion. They told him to cut back on the silliness. So I think WWE would have, maybe they would have played that part. The New Day would have been, yeah, you're right. Can you imagine him doing the whole thing with the New Day and the grind with the New Day? AJ Styles come and tell him to stop acting ridiculous. You have a feud with AJ Styles. I can see the whole thing happen. Him and Ryder, you know what the first match would have been? Him and Ziggler.
Oh, absolutely.
Battle
him and
of
Ziggler.
The Curls.
You would have gotten your fan dream matches out of the way. Omega Finn Balor, Omega AJ Styles. And then at some point, Ziggler, probably Nakamura, IC title picture for sure. Sami Zayn, Kenny Omega. The list is endless when you have a guy of that caliber to put on the roster. Or they could have just made him a joke.
They could have done that. I believe that they were going to do the AJ Styles treatment on him. He was going to show up and they were going to strap the rocket to this guy. He's very marketable. They don't reliable. They don't have to worry about demons in the closet. No drinking problem. No drug problem. Right. He's the epitome of what they want when it comes to representing the brand. Same thing with the Bucks too, dude. The Bucks are not. They're more religious than most wrestlers. They're family guys. They have. They don't really do drugs. Don't really drink. I mean, they don't do drugs, but they don't drink. They live a cleaner life. So you want that representing you. Sometimes you wonder, why are certain people on top? You know why? Because they're actually liked and they're responsible people. Look at Baron Corbin.
Daniel
Bryan.
Lot
of people. Yeah. Daniel Bryan, great example, right? But Baron Corbin, people don't understand why he's in the position he's in. His life choices is the reason why he's in the position he's in.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you need that. Reliability goes a very long way in this company, especially in the scandal-ridden era.
We've talked about this a while. Your top guys in WWE for the last few years have been family guys who don't really party, right? Your Daniel Bryan, your Kevin Owens, Roman, Seth. You know what I mean? They're not getting crazy out of AJ Styles. I think AJ Styles is a teetotaler. He doesn't drink,
Hey, man.
So I think, that's they want that image out there because they don't want to worry about these guys getting pulled over for DUIs and cops finding cocaine in their car or something like that,
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Is that it for questions, guys? Are we wrapping it up? I got another show in about 30 minutes I got to do. So if we're wrapping it up, let's wrap it up. We'll be back next week, obviously, with another Mat Men podcast. Hey, by the way, Tubmen, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We're planning the day. I don't know. Maybe we do a Patreon only.
Ooh. Can we somehow get an animation of us getting choppered over a hot tub and then
just dropped in?
We go, and then we're in the drop. I go, looks like we're over the drop zone. And then you go, looks more like the hot zone. And then we get dropped into the hot tub and it cuts to us just in the hot tub. Yep. Together.
Yeah. Tubmen.
Dongs a flapping.
Did you guys say tugmen? What goes on under the bubbles? That's our business, nobody else's.
That's also the name of Enchanté's memoir.
Tugmen?
No, what goes on under the bubbles is our business.
Yeah. Can I? Do you know I feel a little weird about Enchanté now because the whole thing was very directly correlated to Velveteen Dream's gimmick.
Ooh.
But by the way, Enchanté
Enchanté
predates the Velveteen Dream.
You're going to have to repackage Enchanté. I like the TikTok, though. The TikTok was hysterical.
The TikTok's hysterical. Whoever made that and tagged me in it, I can't. It was very shocking because you know what happened? It just showed up. I was on TikTok and I was scrolling. I didn't see it because I was tagged in it. I saw it because it just showed up in my timeline because I guess the algorithm knew I was tagged in it. I was like, I'm in bed and I scream, "What the F am I doing here?" And my wife's like, "What's the matter?" I'm like, "Look!" She goes, "Oh my God."
Perfect.
Hysterical.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right, guys. That's it for this week. Guys, remember, follow us, Mat Men Podcast on Twitter, Madman Podcast everywhere. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube. You can follow me at Andrew Zarin. You can follow Rich at BTC Rich. And we'll be back next week. Take care.
Love you guys.
All right. Hey, thank you, everybody.
That's fun.
Boy, was that fun.
Too bad we don't have an animator. Too bad Suncast still works for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Too bad Suncast can't animate the chopper and us coming out of it, and then right before we hit the tub, our clothes explode off of us in the animation. Amazing. All right, what do you got next? This Week in Radio Tech or What the Tech?
I got What the Tech next. I got This Week in Radio Tech after that. I got a whole bunch of work I got to do for the Clea Zubs.
Nice.
I got a busy day. I think Bob's gonna come by in the afternoon, have a couple beers in the yard,
test out the tub, right?
Yeah. Test out. I also do have a kiddie pool, like a really large kiddie pool that we could put bubbles and do it outside also.
Oh, I'm too big for that.
No. It's a big pool. It's huge.
All right, we'll figure it out.
We can do either.
As long as we don't get electrocuted.
We will not get electrocuted.
I
promise. We
love
will.
you.
All right.
Goodbye.
Love you. I'll see you. Goodbye. All right, guys. See you guys later. Love all of you.